be honest with you. Like, I've been consistent. I'll
Mhm.
say. I think our business's reputation.
Yeah.
So even that particular trip, when Junior and them were coming, or when Nasty C and them were coming to the country, they'd reached out like a week before, like,
Yeah.
yo, we're trying to come to Kenya to do a residency. We're just trying to
Yeah.
hang out. There was like a bunch of restrictions in SA. COVID had just started, so like Kenya is a bit more loose. We can come hang out, record,
Yeah.
do some parties. I was like, yeah, for sure. And that was over a relationship built like over 5 years, you know, because like the first time they came, they were brought to I was at Homeboys at the time.
Yeah.
So they were brought to Homeboys for an interview. First time we met. And you know, we just clicked. Like me and his bro kept in touch. Ayanda, big shout out to Ayanda.
Yeah.
So you know, we used to email back and forth whenever they have new music. They let me know. I'd play it. I'd send them videos of us, you know,
Vibing
in the studio, whatever. So it's a relationship that was built over time. And then when his artist Rolene was coming to the country, they also let us know.
Yeah.
Tellerman, you know, we showed Tellerman love. Big shout out to Tellerman, actually.
Shout
he even
out.
gave us a hook. TNT have a song with Teller. So I think it's a relationship built over time. For the US, I think it's the same. Jameson opened that pipeline for me.
Yeah.
Because Homeboy is also, you know, big shout out John Rabah. He's been producing most of the Jameson shows, if not all. And I remember back in 2014.
John Rabah is DJ John.
Yeah.
DJ John for the Homeboys. Homeboys.
All right.
So back in 2014, they bring 2 Chainz, which is still my favorite concert I've ever been to.
I was watching that thing online and I'm like, come on, man, I know this guy right here. And I'm pointing at Jinx. But also, Jinx, bro, like this, I have to look you in the eye, bro. For the Nairobi Festival as well. I saw you, you know, doing the emceeing and all that.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, the artists out here that basically might really want to know, how does one go about to even get a spot to maybe perform at Nairobi Fest? Because Nairobi Festival had a lot of the heavyweights in the game.
Yeah.
There were no upcomings, like there were no upcoming artists in that gig. Like if they were, then probably they are known in a certain circle. If I am a recording artist and I really want to put my music out there, despite me, you know, bringing my music to Boomplay, and I want to perform out here, how do I get a spot to perform on a gig like Nairobi Fest?
Damn, that's where the work comes in, man. I mean, Nairobi Fest also it does have a program for upcoming artists. I think like there's a competition, you can register and you can get a platform. But as far as getting booked for festivals, man, you just have to build a buzz. Because at the end of the day, the guys who are running the festival just want people to come out.
Yeah.
Like if I mention your name, can you bring at least 50 people to this place? You understand? So it's really about building your buzz and having a community of people that root for you. So that's easy when even because a lot of festival organizers will make a post before they announce the artist. Like, who do you want to see?
Yeah. The
Like that's it. That's the
everything.
perfect spot if you have a community of people to just spam like this
Exactly,
guy, this
this
guy,
guy,
this guy, this guy.
Yeah.
So it's about building that buzz and having that community and like doing the work, man. Like no one is gonna come and lift you.
Back in the day when maybe we were having the top 10 at 10 in Capital and Prez had released this jam. So he's like telling guys to, yo, call in and just
exactly, you know.
Fans,
like
fans.
yeah.
And it was a hit song.
And Prezzo was really good at that. Showbiz?
Prez is crazy.
The best. The best showbiz I've ever seen in my life.
CMB
is CMB Prezzo.
Amazing balls. And like you mentioned, sorry.
No, I just want to pick your brain for a minute. You're a manager, right? So I like music a lot. So nilikuwa nimechill studio na the producers, they're just there. Shout out. Yeah. So we were chilling and then I was telling them a story about my cousin, ni msanii. Shout out to you, Tulia, Tiny Beast. I don't know if you know her.
I know Tulia.
Tiny Beast, yeah.
She works with Secret.
Yes.
And some other, I'm familiar.
Yeah. So she had an issue a while back with her manager then. And alikuwa anataka kurelease her music, but he couldn't because he had her masters and everything.
Yeah, and maybe the passwords
yes,
or whatever.
okay, can you explain how that goes about, the management part of the artist? Are you the one to provide the finances? Are you the one to book the studios? Or are you just managing like events and just coordinating that?
Okay. I mean, there's different levels to management, honestly. There's your day-to-day manager who can also be sort of like a PA.
Yeah.
And then, you could also have a business manager who now maybe oversees your distribution, your marketing, your touring, someone who's more invested in the business side of things. But sometimes your business manager could also handle your day-to-day.
Yeah.
But in most cases, you'll see a business manager probably hire a PA that will do your day-to-day, right? You don't always need a manager.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in your career. If you're lucky enough to meet someone that's great for you in the beginning, kudos. But if you're still like, trying to figure it out and building a buzz, there's no rush into having a manager and giving someone control over something that's not yet established, simply because human beings are predictable and someone will feel very entitled when things start getting good.
Yeah.
Right? I've been there through that.
Right.
So I don't think it's advisable to really bring someone super close when you're still building. I think you can figure it out by yourself until you really need a manager, and either get a professional or get someone who's always shown interest to sort of like develop the business further with you. But yeah, I think in most cases, it's you brought someone in too early, and then they get a bit entitled when things start happening, and that's when the disagreements happen.
Right, and definitely don't work with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on the type of friends you have. It depends.
I've seen friendships. I've seen friendships that work as far as management, as long as you separate it. Because we're friends, and then when it comes to work, we're now doing business.
Yes.
We have contracts. We have a MOU. We know how we're working, and because a lot of the times what happens is as my friend, you don't need a contract.
Yeah.
No,
You do need a contract. Yes.
You do.
And I mean, like, you did mention you're a rapper and stuff. At what point did you decide, like, I'm going to be an artist manager? Like, or do you still rap?
No. I haven't rapped in a while. I mean, I think I still can. I'm not sure.
Can you show? You want to show us?
I'm not sure.
You
I
want
haven't
to show
done
us?
it in
We'll
a
be
long
the
time.
judges.
But so the transition happened 2013 going into 14. I got my first radio gig in June of 2014. So I was thinking, man, I wanna transition into something else. I don't really like where the business of music is at this point. We were more. Reverb Nation was still coming up.
Yes.
I know, I have
Reverb
my
Nation.
music on there.
Reverb Nation wasn't really paying.
It wasn't.
YouTube wasn't paying at all. Hip hop was still, especially the type of hip hop we were doing, wasn't really accepted or whatever. So my group dynamics were a bit off.
Yeah.
So, and I knew this is all I want to do. Like I don't want to work anywhere else. I want to work in the music industry.
Great.
So tried out radio, started out Homeboys as an intern in 2014. Started by writing like articles for the website, and then I started shadowing Corinne, and shout out Max, who was the producer of the Jump Off at the time. So I shadowed for like a month, and then they gave me one segment. So I used to come in with some hip hop news, like whatever I've written on the article. I'd come in for a segment and talk about those topics, and then it just developed from there. Like,
And exclusively speaking,
I like that.
like my very first time to have a word on radio was on their show.
yeah,
By then I was managing K-Force.
yeah.
Then K-Force got an invitation to be in their show. And then again, I'm there like, yo, bro, you have to hop on the mic. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, bro, that was quite a huge
like, yo,
platform
say
that you gave me. And you see now, I'm confident on the mics and
the mic
cameras.
now.
Like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
what up? So really, I mean, Jinx had one of the best radio shows that you could ever listen to. Him and Corino Nyango. And those guys were blowing up the airwaves.
Yeah, as far as
So
hip hop,
as far as hip hop was concerned, and they
crazy.
could play 254 music like every other day. And I don't know, this show that you guys used to have in the afternoon,
the afternoon.
the afternoon session that used to only play KE music.
Oh, hip hop culture.
Hip hop culture. Is it the
with
same
Ruby.
show? Is it the same
Big
show
shout out
that
to
yeah, with
Ruby.
Yeah,
Ruby,
Ruby.
yeah.
She's in Sound City now, right? Most probably.
Is she?
Yes. I think so. Ruby.
I think Ray is at Sound
Oh,
City.
Ray.
Yeah.
Not Ruby. Ruby. Ruby is the hip hop host.
Yeah, Ruby used to
come
do
on.
hip hop culture.
Hip hop culture,
She used
yes.
to play all KE, which was
So
great.
is it the same show that maybe hosted Calligraph some time back and he had to do a live show and he was actually taking requests from Kenyan artists? Like, was it the same show was it the same platform that you gave to Calligraph to do it? Or I'm just trying to get it straight.
Kali has done a bunch of freestyles. Like I told you, I think freestyles was his way into the conversation.
Yes.
About being one of the best rappers. It was radio freestyles. So even at Homeboys, he has a few from back in the day
Yeah.
when they were having their back and forth with Octo.
With the Octo, yeah.
And then there are more recent ones that he did on Trap Lab. I think he came to Trap Lab twice, maybe 3 times, because he loves it. Be like, yo, Jinx, I want to come and freestyle. I got some shit to say. You know?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, pull up.
And I mean, I like that, for people watching, I'm sure like they're aspiring young boys and men aspiring to be just like you, having been in the broadcasting industry and now artist management. It's easy to look at where you are at right now and kind of oogle over you. But I like the fact that you,
I'm
said
a
that it
nobody.
was a process. Like you started as an intern and then you worked your way up, and that's really, really impressive.
Yeah, it is.
And so, like, having been in the media industry, broadcasting for about 7 to 8 years, like, what are some of the things that you learned? Did you like it?
Oh, I loved radio. What?
What are some of the challenges
I
of radio
never worked
as
a day in my
well?
life.
No.
Oh, really? Because it was
Just have
passion,
fun.
right?
Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just what I would do, you know. Like I love hip hop. I listen to hip hop every day.
Yeah.
I dissect it with my friends. Oh, did you hear that bar? You know, which album is the best album? Those debates. Who's your top 5?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like who do you think is gonna blow up next? Like those are discussions I always used to have with my friends. So like it came so naturally to do the jump off on Homeboys. Those are some of the best years of my life for sure.
Okay.
Had so much fun. But I also just got to learn the business, you know. I got to learn advertising and the importance of, you know, a brand image so you can align with other brand values, like other corporate brand values. So
Right.
for example, if you're R&B artist and, you know, your core sound is softer and maybe you care about let me think, like animals, maybe, you know, you're passionate about animals, you need to have like your brand Bible, like what are my core values, right?
Right.
And then you look at corporates. So you look at corporate Kenya and try and figure out, okay, who else has the same values? I think that's also how you approach pitching when you're kind of like looking for an endorsement.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you present yourself to these companies, it's already, you've already done half the work of, we're actually aligned as far as value goes.
Right.
So now what's the value proposition?
Yes.
And then if it makes sense, you can easily get get something out of that. So, you know, I learned a lot about how to work agency,
Wow.
you know, to run promotion campaigns, which is what I do now at Boomplay. Essentially, my main role at Boomplay is to give artists or align with artists on promo for their records, right?
Okay.
So we have assets within the app, such as playlisting, slides, banners, push notifications, and then we also have out of home. So that's billboards. We have digital advertising, that's influencer marketing or just PPE ads. You know, you can get sponsorship or partnerships that we can work together on if you have an album launch, a listening party, these kind of things, right?
Right.
So all these resources that we have available is for me now to try and figure out, okay, what works for who type thing. So, you know, we work with artists from anywhere between 2 weeks to a whole year. Like for most of last year, we were working closely with Nyash on Shin City, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did the 2 shows, but he also had the EP, which was really dope. Therapy,
Yeah.
you know.
Wow.
So so there's that.
That's a lot. So you're helping artists with like performances,
rollouts. No, with their
music
album.
distribution,
With their album
creating
rollouts.
it. Okay. Wow,
How,
that's
you know
incredible.
how you roll it out, how you get it to the people.
And bro,
Okay.
how does an artist who has never joined Boomplay join Boomplay, and how do they make money from Boomplay? Because I really think this is one of the debates that goes out with streams. And how do I get my money from the streams?
Yeah.
How do I get to sign up a contract with Boomplay?
Yeah.
How do I get to get a picture with Jinx? And I hope you brought me a goodie, bro. Because seriously,
You think a picture with me is worth anything? Bro, I work so
Yeah.
much behind the scenes. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure, like, even in this career, you
Yes.
guys didn't know me, right? Did any of you even know who I am?
no, but I
I
told them
thought you
about
looked familiar.
Nah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Like,
guys.
I'm
I
a-
told you guys about
I'm
Jinx.
a, I'm a
right?
very I'm a very behind the scenes
Yeah,
guy.
man.
You know, it's
With
like
big moves.
if you know type situation.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
how
Yes.
that's how I've
Oh,
liked.
looking famous. She's like, ooh.
I'm honored, man. I
Now
know.
that's what I've always liked about how I've built my brand.
Yes.
It's always been about the work.
Yes.
So the guys who work in the industry will tell you, oh, Jinx, Jinx will get the work done.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And that's what I want.
Yeah.
I just want to be known for my work. I'm not into gimmicks. I'm not trying to be famous. I work with that, and I tell this, I say this all the time. I work with a lot of famous people.
Exactly.
I am not famous,
Right.
you know, and I'm not trying to be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
No,
I
so
mean,
sorry.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
yeah,
So
yeah.
to your question,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Monetizing digital.
Yeah.
Aggregators. So you need to find an aggregator that works for you. Most aggregators deliver music to Boomplay. What is an aggregator? An aggregator is essentially a middleman between the artist and the DSPs. The DSPs are the digital streaming platforms, which Boomplay is one of, right? So there are DIY aggregators or do-it-yourself, where you basically upload your music, upload your artworks, set your release date, and now it's up to you to now pitch to the DSPs as far as getting editorial support, like playlisting and the likes. DIY aggregators are like TuneCore, DistroKid, AfroTunes, and a few others. And then there are more boutique aggregators, which is essentially like a invite-only type of situation. And that's when you've built up some traction.
Yeah.
When you sign up with them or when you try out, they'll let you know if you can join in. The perks of having a boutique aggregator is they pitch on your behalf.
Yeah.
So people like 1RPM, CNC Distro, Ziki, and such platforms, like I'll get emails from them every other week on these are our priority releases. And then, we have some sort of relationship on the kind of promotion they get for their catalog, right? So there are some perks of working with a boutique. And then the other level of distribution is, of course, signing with a major.
Yes.
Having a major label. So that's Universal, Warner, Sony. Am I missing any labels? It's like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So they basically own the lion's share of the industry. The pipelines across the globe. So if you're lucky enough to get into a major situation, especially now, man, like if you build enough traction by yourself, you can really get a fair deal from the labels if you have a ruthless lawyer, right?
Oh.
So 'cause now artists have a lot more leverage. Back in the day, they would always sign slave contracts, but that's changing.
Yeah.
That's changing a little bit now with because you don't really need them. If you're generating millions of streams a month on like Boomplay, Spotify, Apple Music or whatever, you can live a comfortable life. And you're touring, you can. So, but the label can definitely help you become a legacy act, like become this global star. Like there's a machine that really runs this as far as the festival circuit and getting on certain magazine covers and things like that. Even certain radio stations like in the US or those type of things. Labels still have so much power. That's why you'll see Burna Boy, Wizkid, after all the success they had independently,
Now,
sign
yes.
certain deals for like the US market or for Europe or whatever. Because
And they're
that
doing good.
machine is still very powerful.
Yep, and they're doing good. So basically, if you are an artist and you really want to maybe stream your music on Boomplay, I mean, you just get the Boomplay app on Play Store, install it on your phone. Ain't that right?
Yeah, I mean, you can install it if you want to listen to music.
wanna
But if you want to
listen to
deliver content to Boomplay, you have to go through an aggregator. When we started off, we did have direct contracts, but that was phased out. Yeah, because I mean, it was new in the market. It was more of like an outreach program.
Yeah.
But the proper way to deliver music to DSPs is through an aggregator. So that's how an aggregator will give you detailed reports on how your music is performing, how much you've earned, and etc. etc.
Wow, I hope you guys are taking notes.
It must be.
Heavy
Oh, okay.
knowledge.
Allow me just to ask this. Considering everywhere, right now, in everything that we're doing this competition, right? Kenyan music that's blowing up right now is around Wakadinali, Brooklyn Boys, Booty, the Gengeton, the Sheng side of things, and you're managing TNT. Okay, how can you advise upcoming artists who have found their sound and it's not that kind of sound? It's the eloquent side of
Stay in
music.
your lane. Stay in your lane.